I struggling with words? Hello. Yeah, hi. So, this is my first booktube video ever. I have done like unboxings, which you will never find on my channel again. I actually stopped doing it because it does get expensive and pricey, and I felt that at the end of the day, for what you're getting in the box, sometimes it's not always worth what you're paying for. So I stopped doing those subscription boxes, so I stopped filming them, and I have since deleted all of them from my channel. So I did want to take a stab at booktube. It's something I enjoy watching, and sometimes I feel like I don't see enough of myself in it. I see a certain demographic being represented on booktube, and I find that every person is unique in their own way, and every group is unique in their own ways. And so I kind of feel like by me being a part of this, I'm adding to a good and maybe sometimes not as represented on booktube as it could be. I am planning on doing the newbie booktube tag. Wow, words. Planning on doing that, and I'll go into it more on like what I feel I can contribute to booktube and the things like that. Video actually might already be out. I don't know which video will go up first, either this book haul or that video. It depends what I have edited first and which takes up space, because I'm filming on my phone and iPhone storage space and the iCloud sucks. So this is a book haul. I figure what better way to jump into booktube than to give in to booktube consumerism. Like, that's the kind of pressure I need in my life. And also, it felt really good to go out and buy these. Really good for my mental health, okay? Let's try not to judge each other here. It's fine. These books I'm sure you guys are familiar with if you're part of booktube or you watch booktube content. So do I want to spend a lot of time going into the synopses for these books? Not particularly. Without further ado, let's just jump in. The first book that I have here is a YA contemporary romance, and there's a funny story behind this because I recently went to, it was about a week or two ago, I went to an Indigo exclusive members night event thingy, and they were having like a blind date with a book activity table. So like, you know, they had all their books wrapped up in this like cute light pink wrapping, and on the cover of them they would just have a few words of what the book was about, but you had no idea what it was, who the author was, anything like that. And I picked this one because it said young adult romance, coming of age I think was one of them, and then Italian romance, lost father. That's what it said. And I normally wouldn't go for it or go for something like this, but I read, like, you'll notice in all of the other books that I haul today, I had a very like fantasy-esque theme going on, and I felt like this was a good thing to kind of break that apart, cleanse the palette. And then I did a whole video showing all these books, and I unwrapped it on camera. If you're not following my other vlogs that I do on my channel, you'll know that I completely lost all that footage. So pretend that I'm unwrapping this. So I got Love and Gelato from that event, and I'm actually pretty excited about this. Contemporary is just so easy to read, and not because of like, oh, it's so easy, like 12-year-olds can read it, which is kind of the demographic. Anyways, what I'm saying is, it's just, I can turn off my brain, I can open this book, I can enjoy. I find that I'm a lot more forgiving too when it comes to YA contemporaries. There's certain things that, like, hey, the insta love, the insta romance, I'll let it slide because I kind of know what I'm signing up for when I pick up a book like this. I've heard good things about this book. It sounds really cute. The cover is adorable. So I'm looking forward to reading this. I don't know when I'll get to it, but hey. I feel like there's certain words that people on BookTube say a lot, and that's like, I don't know when I'll get to it. I've heard good things about it. It's on my TBR. Like, we should make a list and then just like create a drinking game or something. We'd all die of alcohol poisoning. Going along with that YA contemporary theme, I feel like I just show you, like, let's not. So I've already read this. I read this a couple years ago. Whenever this first came out is when I read it. But say hello to the hardcover's gorgeous sister, who is freaking adorable, and look at her sprayed edges. This is my favorite color. Like, if you don't know anything about me, hi, hello, my name's Alex, and this is my favorite color. I don't care that I already have 2 physical hardcover copies of this. I need the paperback edition with the sprayed edge. Thank you very much. Now on to some of the more fantasy-esque, which is the remainder of my books. I picked up Slayer by Kiersten White. I'm a fan of Kiersten White. I've read a couple of her books before. I really loved, oh my god, what was that book called? It was a standalone. It was just like, it felt so random, but it was so good to me. Illusions of Fate, I think is what it was called. Reading it, I was like, man, Kiersten, you've like, I don't want to say branched out, but it felt like she was stepping out of her comfort zone with that book. And to me, she knocked it out of the park. And I've really loved that book. So, and I Darken, I have that book, but I don't have it with me. So again, if you're not following my vlogs on my channel, then you don't know that I moved from my home in California to Canada. And so that's like a huge move, and I couldn't take all of my books with me, obviously. So I do have And I Darken. I haven't read it yet, but it's back home in Los Angeles. So when will I get to it? I don't know, man, but I do want to read it. Heard she was doing this. I'm a fan of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and I'm excited to see where this goes. And I'm just a fan of her writing style, to be honest. I think that's what I've liked most about Kiersten White's books is her writing style. So I'm really excited for this. Oh my god, and can we talk about the new series that she's writing? I am such like Arthurian, if that's how you say it, legend / Merlin trash. I watched the Merlin series on Netflix and freaking loved it. I love all of that stuff. So when she said she was coming out with a new series in that time period, I was like, Kiersten, honey, yes, sign me up. So I'm really excited for that. Just had to throw that out there. The next book I have here, I've been on the hunt for since it came out in October, or like, I think September. I think it came out in September, just before October. But I wanted to read it in October for spooky season. And it was sold out everywhere. I couldn't find it anywhere. And I still am convinced to this day that Books and Lala went and bought the last copy that was at my bookstore, because I was like, the website said it was there. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna go check it out. And I go there. Gone. They're like, oh, we just sold the last one. And then what happens? A week later, Books and Lala's vlog comes out and she's off buying that book from my bookstore. Coincidence? I think not. That book is Toil and Trouble. 15 Tales of Women and Witchcraft, which I'm really excited to read. I started the audiobook back in October and it was good. The few stories that I did read were really good. But I feel like there were some stories in there that just weren't translating well enough on audiobook. And I felt like you did have to have the physical copy with you. So that being said, I did DNF the audiobook, but I'm really positive I'm going to like the physical copy. So, and I am, if you don't know, I'm a writer and I'm currently writing a book and it's about witches in Mexico. So I feel like this is really gonna like spur those creative juices for me, and I just find it's really interesting to read about other interpretations of what you're doing in your craft, because it can inspire yours, but also it's a good way to be like, oh, this is how ours are different. Next book I have here kind of goes without saying too, just because everyone has been talking about it on Booktube, and Booktube is the reason. Like if there was that tag where it's like, oh, what's a book that Booktube made you buy? It's Girls of Paper and Fire. It had been on my radar before people started talking about it, but then I was like, man, I don't know, like, do I want to delve into a fantasy or not? I wasn't sure. And I don't know what happened, but sometime in like December, I just got hit with the fantasy bug. Like I wanted to dive into a new fantasy, and maybe it's because my boyfriend's currently reading a fantasy series and he loves to talk to me about it, even though I have no idea what he's talking about. And I'm like, is this what it's like when I talk about books to people? Heard great things about it. I really don't know much about it other than like female romance, and that's all I need to know. The next book I have here is Skyward by Brandon Sanderson. This is another one of those instances where, like many of the other books I've mentioned, I've heard great things about. I also have a friend that's in my creative writing program that talks great things about Brandon Sanderson. I'm not sure if she's read this one yet, but she says great things about Brandon Sanderson and like his techniques when it comes to writing and his perspective on the craft. So it made me really interested when I saw this come out, and that it was young adult and that it was like sci-fi dystopian. And I was like, you know what? I think this is going to be worth it. I'll learn something about writing from this book and then just have a good time with it because, again, I've heard great things about it. So I'm really looking forward to it. I have saved the next 5, technically 6. I've saved the next 6 books for a reason. They need to be together in a group because they're all part of the same universe. I read the Grisha trilogy like many years ago. I think I was either graduating high school or junior year. I don't remember. I think I was in high school. I'm like pretty sure I was in high school because I was still living at that house and anyway, when I heard that King of Scars was coming out, which is kind of a continuation of that, and it follows Nikolai, which was a character from the Grisha trilogy. Everybody knows this because everybody's obsessed with this too. That was coming out. I was excited. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna read it. But then Lee Bardugo made a tweet that was like, hey, you can't read this if you have any intention of reading the Six of Crows duology, because this is going to spoil things from the Six of Crows duology. And I was like, well, as who purchased Six of Crows like 50 years ago and has it's just been like sitting on my bookshelf for 50 years, and I said, yeah, I'll get to it eventually, and I never did. And it's not here. It's back home in Los Angeles because I didn't anticipate a series coming out that I would need to read it anyways. So that meant I had to read Six of Crows duology. So I took it upon myself to just get the collector's edition because everyone was hyping the series up. Everyone was like, this series is so good. So I'm like, well, I'm gonna love it then, right? And it's Lee Bardugo, Grisha universe. I'm gonna love it. So I bought the collector's edition. I read this. I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. I feel like it's 4.5 out of 5 stars. It was good. It was good. I don't feel like it was as good as people were making it out to be. I do feel like the hype kind of ruined it a little bit for me, but not in the sense where I'm like, oh my god, this is such a drag to read. No, I was totally in it when I was reading this. It was enjoyable. I do think some of the character development was a little bit lacking in this first one, but I mean, with 6 characters, it's kind of hard, especially like how many pages this is. It's hard to develop them enough where you would feel satisfied. But that in mind, I then, after reading that, picked up Crooked Kingdom, and yes, these are all my tabs, and all the blue ones where I cry my eyes out. Do you notice a trend on all the ones at the end? Yes. This one I feel I would give, okay, on my Goodreads I give it a 4 out of 5 stars. I really feel like I want to change it to a 5 out of 5 stars now, because this one is exponentially better than Six of Crows. Where that one was lacking in character development, this one totally picked up in character development. It tore my freaking heart out. Like, I just think of that one part with Wylan. Like, I didn't give a shit about Wylan in the first book, and then I read this, and I was like, Wylan, break my little heart, buddy. Just freaking do it. And he did. I was spoiled for the ending, but then I got to the ending, and that still freaking made me bawl my eyes out. Like, this book makes you feel things, okay? I'm really considering changing my rating to 5 out of 5 stars. I think this one was really good and way better than the first book. I didn't actually buy Crooked Kingdom from the same place that I got the collector's edition of Six of Crows. So I went, oh, I'm already showing it. Great content, great booktuber. While I was there, I remembered I didn't have this book. Which I'm not even 100% sure like what this is. I don't actually think it's an actual story. I think they're like kind of like an anthology. They're like little fairy tales in the world. Again, I'm not sure. Seriously, the quality that goes into a Lee Bardugo books is freaking amazing, and I'm so in love. So despite not knowing exactly what this book is, I'm excited to read it nonetheless, just the experience of it. And I think if you're a fan of the Grisha universe, then you're going to be a fan of this, so I'm excited. So there are these next 2, which is technically the next 3, and I will explain. And there's a third one coming. It's on the way. It's en route, okay? In transit. When I was buying the collector's edition of Six of Crows, I bought it from Waterstones, and they were also offering the King of Scars edition, which was signed. So I was like, okay, well, since I'm here, might as well, right? Edition signed. So I was like, heck yes. I was really happy. But when I was at the store buying some of those, I saw this one, and I already took off the sticker because I freaking hate the stickers they put on there. It was the Indigo exclusive edition. So this one's not signed, but, you know, I'm a little underwhelmed. It wasn't as, like, grand as I thought it was going to be, but still really cool to have. Yeah. So it's a map of the Grisha world. Ketterdam. It also came with exclusive bonus content. It's like one of those annotated chapters. So it has Lee Bardugo's annotations on the side. But the third copy, I'll admit, is a little irrelevant. When I was on the Indigo website, I was like looking at what pre-order boxes, like the Indigo boxes they would have coming up. Lo and behold, I missed out on the Grisha one. It was a King of Scars Indigo box. It came with like a pin and like a travel mug and some hand lotion, like some pretty nice things, right? And then I was looking and it said they still had some in stock. And I was like, am I about to buy a third copy of this book just for some hand cream? Yes, I am. Okay, so those were all of the books that I bought myself and have hauled for you today. Let me know in the comments if you've already read some of these books and your thoughts on them or anything like that. What are other stuff that booktubers say at the end of their videos? I'm awkward as fuck and I'm just like, listen, I'm here to have a chat about books. That's pretty much it. So I'm thinking of doing a King of Scars review when I finish it because I already have some thoughts. So, and again, I'm only like 125 pages in and I have a lot of thoughts, so that's gonna be a fun video to film. Okay, everyone, thank you so much for watching, and I'm looking forward to creating more content for the Booktube community, whether that's with just simple bookish chit-chats that we can have together, or maybe I'll actually get really innovative and creative and feel like putting in an actual effort. We'll see. Anyways, look out for either the video I've already posted or the one after this where I will talk about myself. I realized that sounded really vain, and can I take that back? Can I do that again? Basically, there'll be a video where you can get to know a little bit more about me, so that way you're not just like, hey, there's this new chick on Booktube, and nobody knows who the F she is. So, what's cooking? I do a lot of finger guns, so I hope you guys are ready for a lot of finger guns. I'm gonna go now. Bye.